Okay, you done had some highs and you done had some lows.
Yes.
Where does R&B Divas fit in the book of Angie Stone? Is that a high for you or is it a low for you?
It's a high and a low. The high is, yes, we have arrived. The low is we wasn't smart enough to stay on the scene. I hurt for some of the women because it was an opportunity to regain that lifestyle, to get back out there. They got confused because they got to going with who's better than who and what's what, and you missed the whole mark. And it hurt me to see that. But then when they start coming down on me, I'm like, let me get out of here because I don't really need this. I did it because I was asked to get in there and kind of simmer things down and get the girls correlating together so that they could focus on their music. But I think that everybody was so caught up with housewives that everybody wanted to be Nene Leakes, and that's what really hurt the franchise.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I know where I'm about to go is another low.
Okay.
It has to be. You have spoken about your children several times in this conversation. Let's talk about your oldest, your daughter.
My baby. My daughter.
Before I even ask you the question, what is it about mothers and daughters?
Well, mothers and daughters are pretty much they're mirror images of each other. My daughter and I, and I'm going to be as transparent as I can be with this. My daughter is exactly like me in every way. It's just that I'm a little bit more humble than she is in certain situations. Diamond would chop your head off and spit it out. I have learned to humble myself and don't show my right hand what my left hand's doing.
Mm-hmm.
We found out we started going to church and found out some spiritual stuff that needed to be dealt with. We needed to focus on God more. We needed to really lay the law down in terms of where we belong spiritually. And as a result, the healing has begun to take place. I can tell you we are closer now than we've ever been. Back then, I thought she was jealous. I thought she was angry at me for something. I could not put my finger on it. And to be honest, she couldn't tell me why she was angry. When she would always come up with the story that I went away and left her, but I didn't leave her. I took very good care of her. And my mother and father raised her more, so because I was 22, like I said, 23, and traveling with Sequence. So at the time, she was having a ball in school. It wasn't until her desire to be a singer came full frontal, and she thought it was almost virtually possible for me to just take her and put her in the spotlight. But I told her, you have to work for it. I will always be there to help you, just like I will help my son. But you ultimately got to do the work. And I just think that was hard for her. She thought that, I can put her on. And it wasn't that simple. So the clash of the titans began. I never knocked my daughter's tooth out. My daughter had a bad tooth in the front of her mouth. And by the time we finished tussling, she had bit down her own tooth. But that was the perfect story to tell. And I think at the time, to have an excuse for why your tooth is missing. Just tell them your mama knocked it out.
I just thought you had some hands. I thought Angie Stone was good with the right and the left.
Don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. I have hands. But I have to be mindful when I'm dealing with my daughter because if I'm going to knock a tooth out, I'm going to knock them all out. So I'm not going to knock just one tooth out.
That's right.
Not me.
You spoke about doing the work.
Yes.
And I actually saw an episode a while ago, you and your daughter Diamond confronting it must have been so difficult for you to sit in front of her with the Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Yes.
And you both were speaking your truth.
Yes.
How difficult was it to listen to somebody, to actually listen to some of the things that she was saying, and for you to share your perspective on her?
It was difficult because I know she was talking out of anger and hate. So she wanted to hit below the belt. And I'm the type of person that if I was who I used to be, there wouldn't have been no contest. But because I was training myself and disciplining myself to maintain my level of respect and self-respect, that I'm not going to get on here and show out. I'm going to let her have her moment, say everything she wanted to say, because guess what? You're going to step in your own puddle if you keep running your mouth. And that's what happened. She kept talking, and before you know it, nobody was siding with her anymore, because you know what? It came off as you're just disrespectful.
You know, my mother, here's the deal. First and foremost, you are a black woman.
Yes.
I was raised by a single black woman, and my mother had all boys. And I don't care how old or how tall, how big or how grown we thought we was. My mother was, I am your mother. And I don't care what you do in those streets. I don't care how tough and how people in the streets view you. But in this house,
Yes.
you will respect me. And even as I was watching you on that particular episode, kind of reading in between the lines, you were saying just what every other black mother, no matter how you feel,
Right.
you will respect me as your mother.
That's it.
Because I've earned that respect.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Absolutely. That's it. And you know, when they get bad, when they get bad like that, where they want, talk all of that on the other side of the door. Go out the door, because you can't do it in here. And that's the issue. The issue is you can't stay in my house and talk to me any kind of way. You can't disrespect me in my space. So when you do that, I'm going to need for you to be on the other side of the door.
So I know y'all are in a really good place now.
Yes.
And she's a mother.
Yes.
You know, some things you can't understand until you live it.
Reciprocity.
There you go.
Oh,
Reciprocity.
Trust me. I sit back every day and I go, whew, I feel sorry for her sometimes. Because guess what? What go around, come around.
Do you think now that she gets it?
Oh,
she understands
100%.
exactly what you were saying?
100%. Yes. Totally.
I mean, because you can't, sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you just can't understand until you walk a mile in a man's shoes. And here she is with her own children, and I'm sure
yes,
she is demanding the same respect that you demanded for her. But now,
yes,
those words of "I'm your mother" make all the sense in the world to her.
yes. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. And guess who she calling on now? Mama. I said, ooh, Lord, you better be glad I got a good heart, and a forgiving spirit. Because I'm going to help you. I'm going to do what you couldn't do for me at the time. But the truth of the matter now is, like I told you, she's in a great place. She is now pretty much head of my company. She's working to take care of her and my son. I've pretty much put them in charge of taking over a lot of my stuff. So I'm very proud of them.
Beautiful.
They're brilliant-minded kids.